The idea, basically, of the alternative right in the United States is that the baby boomers sold them out, have created a completely untenable situation by encouraging non-white immigration, interracial relationships, and so on. In many ways, the alternative right is just really a branding, a rebranding of white supremacy for public relations purposes. There's a kind of struggle that I would characterize as the kind of policy of quarantine versus the policy of inoculation. Back in the 1950s, when groups like the American Nazi Party were beginning to pop up, a number of Jewish agencies and other groups got together and approached newspaper publishers, people who ran television stations, and said, look, don't cover the American Nazi Party. If you give attention to them, it will just help them build up and get more members and so on. It was somewhat useful for a while, that policy, quarantine. It was actually called the quarantine policy. Today, I think obviously that's totally impossible as a practical matter. There are so many venues out there, from cable to social media to talk radio, of course, to all kinds of zines and so on, that it is virtually now impossible to suppress information. So what do? You just stand back and pretend it doesn't exist, or keep your mouth shut and hope nobody's listening? I think not. I think the answer is to take on the claims of these groups and the radical right in general directly.
When you shut down the conversation, lies can thrive and make babies and start entire communities. There is no limits to free speech. This is something young people have a lot of trouble understanding. They go, free speech doesn't include hate speech. And you go, what does it include then? The Rolling Stones are better than the Beatles? What is free speech? There is no situation in America where words come out of your mouth and you belong in prison. None.
I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 because free speech and all, the First Amendment's a great thing, but, when people are inciting genocide and nationalistic, xenophobic tendencies, I mean, we're going down a rabbit hole. It sounds a lot like 1930s Germany right now.